So here I am in the kitchen today. I've got good light in the kitchen and the washing machine is going, so you may get to hear that. And I'm just finishing off some of Piddlewick Yard. Now, I've added some switches and I've also got 2 lanes of automation. Now here are the 3 audience controlled switches, and I've put them on the layout itself rather than at the front, and the reason for that is sometimes the layout rests on this front section, they would get prone to damage, so I thought I'd put them in there instead. Now this one isn't connected up, but the other 2 are. A button that I can press that puts on some other lights. You need it fairly bright, so I think at a show we need to stay quite bright, and of course the light then doesn't show through the wall. Also, I don't know if you can see, but there is a person in there, there is interior detail in there. Now this switch also operates this over here, and this has also got people inside. They do something very rude on the office table there. You can't really see it though. The place is overgrown with plants. So now the other thing I've done is regarding the Sherman Tank. I've got the guys welding it or taking it apart, taking the tracks apart. This yellow button also does something rather cool. Rotates the turret. Isn't that good? So let's whiz off the underneath of this. So there's the SS2A shuttle controller that does the job of a shuttle and a controller with acceleration and deceleration on analog DC. £23, 2017 price. Is very effective and cheap way of getting movement on your layout without you actually driving trains, which for this end-to-end layout I thought was ideal. But what I can do is disconnect this and plug in instead manual controller, and then I've got manual control over the inner lanes. Now further up I did add some wires to the outer track. That's these ones here, and these also connect to the shuttle, and they're connected in the reverse direction. So this shuttle unit actually powers 2 locomotives automatically, one way, one the other. If I disconnect this and make one manual control, it's still controlling the other one automatically. So I've still got movement on the layout. These other wires, these are from the switches. These are the 3 switch holes. I've still yet to fix something up to that switch. And those go through here, all around here, and ultimately to this battery compartment, which has an on-off switch as well, a master one. But all of these controls here feed wires to the motors and the lights and things like that via a switch. So it's very simple wiring. I'll probably tidy this up when I get some more of these. I've run out of these, and then I can just make this all a little bit neater. And I have a bit of wood, as you saw, on the underneath of the board, which only covers up a certain section. It only covers up the bits that are exposed. The reason I did that, and not the whole lot, was to keep the weight down. But you could do the whole lot. I've also got an access hole there, you see, and that allows me to get a screwdriver in to alter the potentiometer controls if I need to. On the shuttle control though, once they're set, I don't normally need to. So there's not too much more to do now on Piddlewick Yard. I've also added in the distance a mirror. That's a mirror there, as you can see. And I just had to fill in this gap here with some ballasted foam, and that just helps hide what was a big thick black gap. Mirrors are always useful in tunnels and things like this. Here I've got the gantry showing, and that acts as the scenic brake. I think that looks pretty good. So here's something funny. I'm getting as a present this VW van, but it's still not wrapped up. So what I think I'm going to do is replace it in the box with another van that I've got, so the kids can wrap that up. They won't know I've swapped this over, and I can install this today, perhaps. And just don't tell anyone, alright? What I'm going to do is probably move and get this vehicle out of position, put it somewhere else and put the van in there. And this van actually says on it just married, and I'm going to put a little motor underneath with a cam on it that just moves it up and down like that. Yeah, I think, if you get the idea. If you don't worry, it's just a moving van. So there you go, that'll be a moving van button for the kids. The adults will get the joke. And that is the third button of functionality on the layout. So in order to make this move up and down at the rear, this van, I've got to bury an electric motor in there with a cam on it. And here it is. And if I put 3 volts through this, you can see the sort of motion you get. So that's an offset hole. And the nice thing with insulation foam board is I can just channel out the foam, drill holes easily, and then make a little burial chamber to fit the motor in. So there is the motor in position. I've just pushed it in, and that's with the 3 volt connection. So this is the final switch. So there it is. Don't interrupt them, they're a little bit occupied, I think. And this van just sits on that revolving cam, so I can remove it when I'm not using the layout.